Sakova, currently ranked number 5 in the world, against Manuela Maleva. Both of them have been on the circuit for some time, well known for their abilities on the tennis court. Sakova, perhaps the better known of the two.
Yeah, 6'2", 150 pounds, and she can juice that forehand. She doesn't get the backhand nod, but boy, she serves well, does a lot of things well, but that's also why she has a big account at the bank.
And speaking of big, she is big at 6 feet 2 inches tall, 150 pounds. And she's up against Manuela Maleva, who is just 5'8", weighs 127 pounds. And here's how Helena Sakova got into the semifinal match today. She did it with a great serve and volley game. She's a touch player, and she will be favored certainly over the young lady from Sofia, Bulgaria.
Well, 5'8", 127 pounds, very strong. A two-handed backhand, which I like. She's very strong, very solid off the ground. And so the players got to remember this now. Maleva has a little bit of a sprained ankle, but more important, I think, Michael, is she hasn't told anybody, but she has blisters on her feet. And if Sakova can keep her out there for about 2.5 hours in this hot sun, she won't even have any feet when this is over.
Let's see how Vic Braden forecasts this match.
Well, on the forehand side, I give it to Sakova. She's tall and carries her body well and juices that thing. But on the backhand, I give it to Maleva. On the serve, I give that one to Sakova. On the service return, I give it to Maleva. And on net play, I give it to Sakova. Look at how that thing goes. And on foot speed, I give it to Maleva. And on intangibles, because of the 4-2 lead, I give it to Maleva. And so I say Maleva if she's in good health.
There'll be a lot of buzz in this match today. Sakova and Maleva. Jane Goodman will be the chair umpire today. Jane is a veteran in the Southern California Officials Association.
Throw the ball away.
This tennis stadium here at the Grand Champions Resort holds 10,500. It's the third largest in the United States. And as I look around, some of the folks still coming in here mid-afternoon, and they'll probably wind up with a crowd of somewhere between 4,000 or 6,000. It's very difficult because they're so spread out to really get an accurate count on the attendance.
Don't tell me they're spread out. I mean, when the producer says, get down there, and the director, and get this interview, I had to call a cab just to get to the court. That is a long way down there. 6.
Maleva has won 4 out of the 6 meetings so far.
But again, Sakova coming in with a tiebreaker in the first set and then winning 6-3 in the third. It's always nice to have won the last match because you got that other person guessing. If you can, and it gives you a lot of incentive to make it 2 in a row, too.
Sakova is very quiet, unassuming. She doesn't get the notoriety of a Chris Evert or a Martina Navratilova or a Steffi Graf, but she's very consistent. She always seems to be in the semis or the quarterfinals. I think she's an extremely underrated player.
And very talented. She carries herself well, hits with fine balance. Don't make me look good, bad, Manuel. I just said what a great backhand you have. I haven't seen her sit back on that back foot. She's a little concerned. She wants the ball picked up. People are walking behind the court right now. Here we go. Well, that's why we gave Sakova the net play. Well, she can get in there.
Sakova at 6'2" does have an advantage over some players because of that height.
Well, she's got a fine serve, too. When she's hitting that thing well, you'd think she'd cover the, or go in behind that serve more often, but every once in a while she'll hit a beautiful serve and stay back. But she's good both ends, net play and baseline.
Good shot of Manuela Maleva of Sofia, Bulgaria.
Well, Sakova's been in on nearly every point, so she's signaling early she's not going to play from the baseline. Good play, good play.
Kemp right on top of the net. 40-30. Sekova, the number 2 seed in this tournament. Chris Evert, number 1. Chris Evert lost on Wednesday to Mandlikova. First time out for Chris, but she hasn't been playing much.
Unforced error. She was there, position, hit it off the edge. Chris Evert's not hitting as well as she'd like to in tennis, but she's hitting those ski slopes, I'll tell you.
Up there with husband Andy Mill.
Yeah, and she's carving a good turn and got a grin from ear to ear. It's wonderful to see her so happy.
Well, it's wonderful to see her so happy. People wonder how competitive she can still be on the tour.
I want to tell you something. I'd never bet against Chris Evert. She hates to lose. I don't know, if she hadn't played in 11 years, I think she'd dive on cement.
Helena Sekova holds her serve. First game of the first set. Best of 3. Semifinal action here at the Virginia Slims of Indian Wells, California.
Cape Hatteras and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Hatteras means surf casting for bluefish, and man, do they love to fight. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer. And smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place. And Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Hey, guys, this doesn't get any better than this.
There's
March 14th is Sunshine Network Night at the Virginia Slims of Florida, presented by Post Cereals. You'll see either Chris Evert, Steffi Graf, or Gabriela Sabatini play a first-round match at the Polo Club in Boca Raton for a special price of $4. These tickets can only be purchased by mail. Send a self-addressed stamped envelope and check payable to Virginia Slims of Florida, 2400 East Commercial Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33308.
As the second seed in this tournament, Helena Sekova got a bye in the first round. The field started with a total of 28 when the tournament started on Monday. Helena Sekova from Prague, Czechoslovakia.
First round bye, but 3 and 4 in the second round. Beat Schultz. And then Novotna, who's a fine player, beat her 7-4 in the tiebreaker in the second set. Novotna is really coming on.
That chip shot is effective.
Little drop shot, and she looked like she's going to knock the fuzz off the ball. And she came in and look at Maleva. She says, "Come on, don't give me that stuff. You look like you're going to knock the cover off the ball," and you hit that little baby.
Maleva's the number 4 seed in this tournament. After the bye, defeated Lindquist.
Nice topspin backhand. She can slice through. There's the drop shot again. Ooh, that's a low percentage shot from that position.
And I know you've never liked that shot.
Well, if I could hit it like that, I'll take all you got.
I bet you would.
But Maleva's looking up and giving her a little eyebrow. And come on, give me a break. You're 39 feet back, and you drop that thing at 39 feet. Sekova's a fine doubles player, too. Has a super record. That means she can serve and volley. She can do it all. Baseline? No, not again. Usually have to pay the price.
And she did.
Well, these are not good Las Vegas odds, I got to tell you. Maleva says, "Hey, look, I may have fallen asleep on 2, but not 3.
Sekova went to the well once too often.
Still is a fine drop shot. Maleva is just tired of watching the ball bounce 3 times.
You mentioned about Sekova and Jana Novotna. She knows all about Novotna because that's her doubles partner.
Yep. And they have to play each other from time to time. Singles.
So Sukova just a point away from an early service break.
You know, if I were you, if you're a viewer out there who likes to play the baseline and Sukova coming in more, you get a good chance to watch their footwork and watch what shot they make under certain conditions. Like that one, for instance. They have to be very careful. They got to play the right card at the right time, especially Maleeva.
First serve.
Ooh, she doesn't miss too many backhands. She's got a dynamite backhand.
Advantage Sukova. 22-year-old Manuela Maleeva, born on Valentine's Day.
Wait a minute, weren't you telling me something about birthdays, Michael?
That's right. All 4 of our semifinalists born in February.
Another drop shot. So now, Michael, see, she's 2 out of 4. So she was 2-0, but what does that do for her now? It's all even, and Maleeva's now wise to that thing. Now, if she's using it to draw Maleeva in and then throws the ball deep, that's another animal. Maybe she's going to pick the right shot to look like she's going to drop shot and go for the big one. Maleeva having a tough time.
Wonder if she's favoring that ankle at all in that serve. Boy, does Sukova wind up for that forehand.
And she's tall. When you bounce the ball high to a little person, they can't hit that shot, but a tall person can hit that ball shoulder height and hit a very short angle. It's so hard to retrieve, and if you run out of court and get it, you're so far out for the next one, it makes it an easy shot. Look at Maleeva having a lot of trouble.
Do you think she's throwing the ball high enough? She surely did that time.
Yeah.
Too high.
Yeah, I don't think it's the height of the toss as much as her racket is pausing on the backswing. If she keeps the racket going, she's in better shape. She's in real bad shape right now at 0-2. Again, we watched her walk into the stadium, and she seemed to have a very natural walk. She wasn't favoring the ankle at all, but that doesn't tell you much. Players try to fake each other out. There's that backhand. Maleeva's like Borg. You know, never let any emotion come out. Don't let people see how you feel about things. Just puts her head down.
That looked like it was an easy overhead, but then she had to look up into the sun. She wanted to make sure.
And the ball drops so low, and when the ball gets at shoulder height, it's hard to hit that doggone thing.
15 all.
There's a little emotion. A little. You don't want to be down love 3 first set. But you can't get on track. Tough, tough. It's like Jimmy Connors, boy, and that two-handed backhand shot of Jimmy's, same thing. He steps in like he's going to give you a new navel, then throws that little balloon ball up there. You about throw your head off your body. Tough.
With shots like that, Jenny Byrne was able to beat Mandlikova in straight sets in the first semifinal match.
There's a name you're going to hear a lot.
Jenny Byrne?
Yep. And now Sukova serving 92% first serves in. That's dynamite. And we say a nice thing about her, and she takes gas right away. So what she does on the second serve. Keep it deep and hit it.
It's a 2-1 lead for Helena Suková here in the first set of the semifinal action of the Virginia Slims of Indian Wells.
No way this guy's gonna beat me. Not today. My serve is booming. A forehand, just like Connor's. Come on, backhand. I read all about psyching out guys like this. And it worked.
High percentage on first serves for Helena Suková.
And she's in the lead. Maleva's got to come back. I've been watching Maleva walk, and in my opinion, I think the 1 foot or both feet with blisters, the 1 foot with the ankle, is bothering her. Sometimes you don't see it when you watch them walk. In our research center, we just have them walk across a force plate. And it's so sensitive, you can see exactly what leg they're favoring, even though they try to disguise it. Oh. There's that left shoulder pull away when she had her front foot ready to go forward. Okay, oh, you get a chance to see it. Now watch your left foot. See, it's pulling away to the side, and that makes the racket go straight across the tabletop and usually into the net. The only advantage of a shot like that is you don't... Number 9.
And she's won $1.4 million in her career. Now, the highest that Maleva's been ranked was number 3. That was in February of 86, I think it was. 86, 85.
There's another drop shot. So right now in drop shots, we're running 2 for 5. And that's why I don't care too much about them unless they have a very specific purpose. It's an all or nothing shot. But what I was going to suggest, this lady, Maleva, just doesn't get people excited. She just beats your brains out. But she does it in such a quiet, shy way. So you got to watch her carefully to really get into this match. If you try to let her be your entertainment, it won't work. Try a little drop shot again, a little short ball. 2 for 6.
Manuela Maleva, who got married about a year and a half ago. Married a young man by the name of Francois from Zurich, Switzerland. So the common language that they have is English. And Francois is her coach.
She had blisters. She's got nothing left right now. Watch her go for this one. Good shot, and a good shot by Suková saying, hey, I got this point. No, I don't have this point. Watch her move. There's great return. Again, she just beat you with that little cool smile. You know, Michael, the guys will tell you who go to the Olympics and the women, I tell you, it's so exciting to hear all the different nationalities all the time. But in tennis, it's every week. You go in the men's locker room, 15, 20 different languages. The women out on the deck, you can hear them speaking, trying to pick a common language, but it's every week for them.
So Maleva pulls even in this set by winning the last 2 games.
See, it doesn't look like she's doing much, though. Again, she gets back into the match very quietly.
When we started, the temperature here in the desert had to be in the high 90s, 97, 98, in that vicinity. Down in the court's got to be 110 or maybe even more than that.
Tough.
I think that was Helena Suková just laughing as she saluted the lob.
Boy, it is. When you step in to make the volley and you see that thing go up, what a terrible feeling that is. Because you're lunging forward rapidly and the ball just slowly sailing out of reach.
A break for Maleeva. Hit the left cord but stayed in.
She made a much faster first step to get to the ball. She's wise on the short ball now. Sukova's just going to have to hit deep and penetrate and get good net position. There's the thing of taking a cross court and trying to go down the line. That ball deflects off at the same angle from which it arrives if you don't move the racket. So you've got to take a sharp angle and really force the racket to hit through quickly or you get great deflection.
That's out. So Manuela Maleeva, off to a slow start, losing the first 2 games, comes roaring right back to win the next 3.
Time is running out. Showtime has a special offer that'll blow away everything else on TV.
Thought about that, Steffi Graf. Navratilova is now 2, Sabatini 3, Chris Evert 4, Suková is 5, and Maleeva is number 9. And her sister, Katerina, is ranked number 10 in the world.
4th and 6th players out of this tournament.
Vic Braden, how long do you see Steffi Graf as number 1 in the world?
Well, you know, Steffi also is creating her own competition because she hits the ball so hard and so well. The players are getting better as a result. I would say she's creating her own demise, and I say that there'll be somebody come along within 2 years that'll start be bigger and stronger than Steffi.
Tell me that's somebody.
I'm not sure who it is, but it might be Monica Seles. And it may be Jennifer Capriani, who's only 12 and won our 18 and under national championships.
$1.4 million for Maleeva in earnings.
There's 2 out of 7 on drop shots.
You're keeping score, aren't you?
You got it. Sometimes people prove you wrong, but drop shots are really the kiss of death unless you make it an outright winner, and if you don't, you lose. And not only that, but you get angry at yourself for trying a shot like that.
Nice put-away volley there by Suková.
And remember, Suková, when she was coming to the net in the first 2 games, controlled the play. And then when Maleeva got her hitting from the baseline again, Maleeva won 3 in a row.
Helicopter roaring overhead, probably on the way to the Marine Corps base at 29 Palms. That's the way to do it. Let's get one of those up here. Hi. The cool breeze of the desert.
64% first serves for Manuela.
the match goes on, Maleeva seems to get faster and quicker.
Yep. I'll tell you something, in my opinion, I'd play down the middle more. You hit wide like this, you also set up a sharp angle coming back, and Maleeva is such a fine control player from the baseline that I'd keep it straight, cut the length down that she has for a passing shot. Sometimes more important than angle.
Do you think maybe she was concerned about the blisters and the foot problem, the ankle problem in the first 2 games? Now she said, hey, I'm going to forget about that. Concentrate on my game.
The only way you ever know those things are to ask. And if we get a chance to interview her, I'll ask her.
She seems quicker and moving better to me now than she did in the first 2 games.
I sure agree with that, Michael. She looked very tentative. Footwork, strokes, serve, everything.
Well, she lost the first 2 games. Now she's won the last 4. Could we have a final between Jenny Byrne of Australia and Manuela Maleeva tomorrow in the championship? Right now, that looks like a distinct possibility. We'll have it for you on the Prime Ticket Network at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Mike Weldon, Vic Braden, happy to be here at Indian Wells, California. How does the saying go? The old order changeth?
Boy, it sure does. Nothing's forever.
Everett Navratilova dominated women's tennis for so long. Graf, and now a name to be reckoned with in the future and in the present as well. Jenny Byrne, Perth, Australia, 22 years old, in the finals tomorrow. And in case if you're just joining us on the telecast, it was 7-6, 7-4 in the tiebreak, and 6-3 Byrne over Hanna Mandlikova.
Well, Steffi Graf is tall, lean, strong player and hits the ball very hard, but makes fewer errors than the players that we've seen who hit it almost as hard as her. But she's been that way. When she is 14 years old, a lot of the top players at Wimbledon and other places would stop and watch Steffi hit, and they say, my goodness, who is that? They didn't even know who she was. She was so powerful then, so nothing's changed. Well, we're 2 for 9 on the drop shots.
I knew that line was coming from you, Vic. I just knew it.
Well, I should speak just a little bit louder, and maybe Sukova start changing that plan. She has something, and she may be going for the blisters, maybe going for the footwork, but you know, she doesn't do it pretty fast. She's going to be coming in second in a field of 2. Nice serve.
$2.5 million, not bad for a 24-year-old young lady from Czechoslovakia, Helena Sukova, or as they say in Europe, Sukova.
Boy, she's waiting for that ball, really dropping low on the serve. Throw that thing up there and go get it. There's the pause.
What a turnaround. Maleeva looked like she might even lose a love set after dropping the first 2, and now 5 straight victories for 22-year-old Manuela Maleeva. A 5-2 lead for Maleeva over Helena Sukova, and the winner of this will match up tomorrow in the championship at 2 o'clock against Jenny Byrne of Australia. The series points and the winner of this in the Virginia Slims Championships, and by the way, the next stop will be the Virginia Slims of Florida starting Monday at Boca Raton. The winner of this tournament gets 300 points, and then the runner-up all the way on down. The top 16 point getters after the 55 tournaments thus qualify for the Virginia Slims Championship in November at Madison Square Garden in the Big Apple.
Big Apple is right, and boy, I look at those numbers on money Michael, I remember when the John Bosco tournament.
Wait a minute.
In
The
Los
what?
Angeles,
The John Bosco
tournament put up $25,000, and we almost fell off our chair. Pancho Gonzalez, Lou Hode, Sedgman, Segura, everybody. No, Sedge wasn't in that, but Pancho Segura won the tournament. All I can remember, they'd sit around at lunchtime and talk about 25,000. Can you believe it?
Can you believe 14 unforced errors by Sukova?
Maleva serving 63% first serves in. So she's picking up her game. Sukova making too many errors. That's the name of the game.
Jeff First and Don Allen handling our statistics. Don Allen, the former tennis pro at Shadow Mountain Resort here in the desert.
For 7 decades.
He hasn't been a pro as long as Frank Feltrop.
You got it.
He's been forever at Deep Canyon Tennis Club, and Frank just celebrated his 78th birthday the other day, and one of the grand guys in the game, Frank Feltrop. He still gets outplaced 3-4 sets a day at 78.
Well, there's an 85 and over division, so he's got 7 years to work on his game before he even qualifies for the event. I know Frank well, a super guy, and he's been helpful to a lot of people.
One of the Maleva sisters, 3 of them. There's Katerina. She's ranked number 10 in the world, and there's a 14-year-old in the family, Magdalena. They call her Maggie, and they say she's going to be a comer in the next year or so. Maggie Maleva. And of course, all of the girls are coached by their mother, who was a 9-time national champion in the country of Bulgaria.
Look at that. Constantly unforced. Got to cut down the unforced errors.
You think she's got her head in this match or not?
Well, you know, sometimes when you think you got a wounded opponent out there, you can't put it together. And I don't know. I keep thinking if she's trying all those drop shots, that she must be trying to wear her feet out, but she's not playing well. Oh,
another one.
Late, but give Maleva credit, a nice deep shot, but that's no reason why Sukova, it doesn't have her weight out on her front foot, so something's going wrong with her own feet, I would say.
What a turnaround. Maleva lost the first 2 games and then won the next 6. 6-2 in the first set. When the tournament started on Monday here at Indian Wells, Chris Evert was seated number 1, Sukova 2, Pam Shriver 3, Maleva 4, Lori McNeil 5. Evert went out on the first round. Shriver lost yesterday. So did McNeil. So we've had a lot of surprises here.
Oh, there's a nice serve. And again, look what happens when Sukova is moving forward and leaning in and getting in for the volley. She's playing very aggressive, and she's in the match. Maleva gets her back on the baseline. She's history. Oh, terrible footwork. She knows it more than anybody. Fine first serve. She really uncoils in that thing. Takes a little check step, and then right there, she didn't get her weight forward. She stood straight up. Well, that's where Martina, when Martina gets that short ball, she is leaning so far forward into that net. No chance on hitting down on the ball.
at Maleeva. Well, she couldn't return that one. For a player with blisters and a bad ankle, Maleeva's moving extremely well.
Well, she has to move well. She's moving from one desert city to the next. Look at, she's out 27 feet. She finally says, look, I just can't do it. Can't make it. Smart play, probably. Smart serve, but a, ooh,
Did that go in?
Close.
It did.
Uh-oh, look out. Boy, that was a dynamite shot. It was traveling out of court 99.9% of the time. Watch. The ball's out of court, out of court, out of court, out of court, out of court.
On the line.
Point Maleeva.
Helena Suková looks dispirited to me.
Not putting it together the way she would like to, that's for certain. But the mark of a great champion is one who says, okay, I figured out what's going on. How can I play this? Put game plan number 2 in there.
That's good.
There's a little emotion from Maleeva. She was angry because she had Suková moving forward and threw up a shallow lob. You don't throw shallow lob to someone who's 6'2". But Maleeva knew she had her. Big point, too.
Going for the ace. A little long.
It's nice service motion, though. Hits the ball well.
This is the first game of the second set. Maleeva 6-2 in the first.
Tough. Nope, out. Ooh, that's close.
Suková holds serve to take the first game of the second set as she tries to climb back and even this and send it into a third. Semifinals of the Virginia Slims of Indian Wells.
Coming in March, Post Cereals presents the Virginia Slims of Florida at the Polo Club in Boca Raton. Catch the top women's tennis professionals in the world, including all-time tennis great Chris Evert, the world's top-ranked player Steffi Graf, and defending tournament champion Gabriela Sabatini. Champagne box seats for the entire week are now on sale. For more information, call 305-491-7115 in Broward and 407-395-8512 in Boca Raton.
I'm Tom Watson. When I'm not playing golf, I like to read about it. And for my money, there's nothing better than Golf Digest. Golf Digest covers every angle of the game thoroughly. And now, you can get Golf Digest. Here's how.
Call toll-free 800-351-4700 for a year of Golf Digest. Only $12.77, 46% off the newsstand price. And you'll receive, as a bonus, tips from the tour free. Call 800-351-4700 now.
Look at the first set statistics. Favoring Suková in first serves. Everything else is even except for, look at that big one, right from the bottom. First one up from the bottom. Unforced errors, 19-5.
In sport, you've got to execute. That's the name of the game. It doesn't matter how hot it is. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter whether you have blisters. The ball doesn't really care that you're not wearing your lucky shorts. You've got to get in there and hit that ball and hit it properly.
This is the 9th game of the match. New balls. Why new balls after 9?
Well, 7 and 9. And after, oh, there you see the foot work. I see it taped up, that left foot, left ankle. Nice and deep shot from Maleeva.
Maleeva whips it down for that forehand.
Where you have to give credit is Sukova's in at the net. She's in there pretty tight. She's 6'2", but where does Maleeva hit it? At Sukova's feet. Suková bends down, that tall body to bend down for the low shot. Maleeva's moving forward. Suková hits a short ball back, and Maleeva comes in with a big smile and just collects the money.
say it's tough when you come in and volley with the topspin.
All you people out there who lived in the 40s know that Kid Gavilan had the big Volo whip.
Kid who? Remember his fight with Chuck Davey?
That was a left-hander from Michigan State.
That's right, indeed. Good for you, Vic Braden. And Kid Gavilan hit Chuck Davey with one of those polo punches right in the Adam's apple, and that was the end of Chuck Davey's professional career, Chicago Stadium.
And that's why we were saying Maleva, she went in and wound up and took a big bolo whip on that volley. That's so hard to do, to time it with that big a stroke. You know, Michael, as you see 1-all, when you see somebody 6'2", and people automatically think, God, you're just going to be just so real. If you watch her now, when she comes in, hit this ball, there's that big swing. The racket's down and a big whip from the behind the back. But you think somebody 6'2" is automatically going to win. But if you can make them bend, it's so tough, so it's unfair for people to say, hey, just because you're tall, you're going to win. You keep the ball low at the feet of a tall person. Not that you have to get down, but Jack Kramer used to say he works so hard on the stomach muscles because you got to get back up. And when you're tall, it's getting up that's so hard. No, it's out.
30 love, Sikova. Third game of the second set. It was 6-2, Maleva in the first. Temperature's got to be above 110 right down there on the court at this moment.
Sikova is letting the ball drop on her serve. She's not swinging as it's going up. Not as the ball's going up, as the ball reaches the apex. Now, go hit it, go hit it. That's it.
30-15.
And it may be the sun over there. It's awfully tough. It's right into her eyes. But 2 or 3 times on the serve, she's let the ball drop very low and had an elbow bend at the impact point. That means you're not snapping that forearm. There she goes.
That's the way to volley.
Well, Maleva had the point in her mind. She can control the backhand so well, and she had it right back to her. But I give Sikova credit. She got that tall frame down, perfect form, knee bent, racket ball, and her eyes are almost on the same level. Perfect volley form on a low one. There's the ball.
Yeah, there's the ball indeed. She took 2 steps winding up on both of them. That's not a good percentage shot, is it, Vic?
Well, this girl seems to do it very well. There are 2 or 3 girls I find that can do it well. Steffi Graf does it pretty doggone well. Or Steffi does a lot of things well.
Good deuce.
And go back again. Sikova has the net. Sikova has a position. What does Maleva do? Hits it at the feet. Sikova comes back with a soft volley, and Maleva just takes her pick. You got to be able to hit the ball at the feet of the onrushing net player. If you can do that, you're home free.
For a long time, Sikova's doubles partner was Claudia Kota-Kilch. Now it's Jana Novotna. As a matter of fact, Sikova and Claudia Kota-Kilch won the women's doubles at Wimbledon 2 years ago. Wham. Ball kept rising and rising and rising. Game to Sikova. So Helena Sikova from Czechoslovakia up 2-1 in the second after dropping the first set.
You've heard about Dianetics, the #1 self-help bestseller by L. Ron Hubbard. Now, thousands of people are learning and using Dianetics by attending the Hubbard Dianetics Seminar.
I never understood why I had trouble in relationships. I couldn't deal with my own emotions. Well, at the seminar, I found out why.
I read the book and it made sense. I knew something was holding me back. It's amazing what I experienced in here. I don't have those problems anymore. I feel like I am really on my way to being clear.
Since the publication of Dianetics, thousands of people have achieved the state of clear described in this book. Because of the growing demand for Dianetics, there are now seminars all over the country where you can learn to apply Dianetics in just a few days. Whether you've read the book or not, call this number right now and find out how you can attend the seminar.
213-667-1065, 714-544-6474.
Call now.
It looks to me like it's 106 down on the court as we look at our thermometer, so it's cooled off a couple of degrees.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's not the temperature of the concrete or the hard surface. That's the temperature above the surface.
Then it hits the surface and comes back up even warmer.
Oh!
One thing the players have not had to contend with today, and that is a breeze of any sort. And the humidity isn't bad today.
I think they'd like to contend with a breeze right now.
Well, it can get swirly and cause some problems. See, look at that flag. Very placid.
Maleeva not serving very hard, that's for certain. Just placing the ball methodically, wearing Suková down, but Suková coming back. Well, we said she was. Suková has made 16 placements and 21 unforced errors. And Maleeva on the other side, 15 and 5. 15 unforced errors, 15 placements and only 5 unforced errors. And she has a set. There's a case for keeping the ball in play, letting your opponent make the mistakes. Maleeva serving 60% first serves in. Percentage is good, but it doesn't tell you what's happening on the first serve. Her first serve is probably going about 60 miles an hour. It's not fast. Just tries to keep it deep, get a good percentage, like that, for example. Tough shot.
I'll say it is. You can't get a read on it.
Boy, that's a Lindell shot. That's a Steffi Graf shot. They get way over on the backhand side, almost on the singles line, and they get such a sharp angle with that topspin forehand. You don't make it back in the court the same day. I just wondered if I'm detecting that Maleeva is a little tired down there.
You can hit forehands like that.
Yeah, but Michael, Suková hit the biggest setup in the world. That thing came in there with neon lights on it saying, strike me, baby. That's such a short little ball. Suková, feet going to sleep once in a while. Of course, Suková has a beautiful body for tennis. She's strong, tall, lean, fast. Maleeva the same, but she has to play a little different style of games as being 5'8". Choice of shots from Suková. You don't stand on the left sideline and hit the ball down the middle because you got to run 27 feet to the other side. So Maleeva didn't even have to have a good cross-court passing shot. But by the time she hit it, Suková hadn't even reached the center stripe. Not a very good choice of shots.
It's a day here in the desert that you got to get as much protection as you can from the rays of the sun, any way that you can. You're not used to the sun, and a visitor out here from the east or the Midwest, you burn in a hurry.
It's watching the young ball boys and ball girls out there. They've done such an outstanding job. I was doing an interview with Beth Madsen, the U.S. ski team representative this week, and she and her brother Bill, and they were telling how they started skiing when they were 2 years old. And you find a lot of these young ball boys and ball girls at 6, 7, and 8 get their first start in tennis, ball boying, ball girling for pro players.
I like that haircut on that young man.
And that kid is ready, man. I'll take that kid right now. Again, Sukova at midcourt, but what does she have to hit? She has to hit a volley off the ankles. Smart move.
In the first semifinal today, it was Jenny Byrne from Perth, Australia, 7-6, 6-3 over Hannah Mandlikova. First prize money, $50,000. Second prize money, $22,500. And those who have made it into the semifinals are assured of $11,250.
Well, Maleeva started the same way in the first set. Started down the second set. That ball boy down there is going to be an athlete, I can tell, baby. Maleeva just waits you out, you know, just a real cagey little boxer. 68% first serves for Sukova, but not picking the big first serve at the right time. Having trouble, especially when she's looking into the sun.
Manuela likes a target, and Sukova at 6'2" certainly is a target, because Maleeva has excellent passing shots, as she has demonstrated.
Top shot.
Another Lindell-type shot.
Yep. Well, she can, when you get a ball at midcourt and it's bouncing chest high, you can hold back, you can let the opponent commit and then hit the shot you like. But that inside-out forehand, she hits very well. I'm surprised that, though, that she stays back on some big points and goes in on some that aren't as big. Tough. That looks good.
First ace for Sukova.
You don't want to get her angry, do you? Look at that thing, came in there about 80, 85. Ooh, close. Look out. Sukova hasn't had a run on points, so as a result, she's constantly in a battle, even on her own serve. She doesn't have control of the play, hardly at any time. It looks like she does, and she'll have run 2 points in a row off, and suddenly Maleeva's up 40-30. And you can't get that rhythm or a string of points. It hurts. You're constantly battling to try to get some rhythm.
So Sukova in this game gets an ace, and she also gets a double fault.
And that's what I was just saying, Michael. It's hard for her to keep any kind of pace, any kind of rhythm. Someone like Marti Steffi will run off 13, 14 points in a row.
Sukova. And Sukova takes a 3-2 lead over Manuela Maleeva in the second set. after Maleva opened with a 6-2 victory over Sukova to start it. Usual end that Helena Sukova won the first 2 games, then Maleva won the next 6 to take it 6-2. And now it's seesawing back and forth, and Maleva's about ready to serve in the 6th game of the second set.
Maleva having more trouble on her serve, not being able to push Sukova around at all, but Maleva winning off the ground, which is their typical pattern. Just good forehands and backhands, steady, chew your opponent up. People are looking for home run balls, just don't see them with Maleva. What you really, to see how effective she is, you have to go see her banker.
And her banker will tell you that she's earned over $1.4 million, and she's only 22. Now that's just her earnings in tournaments. Endorsements, clinics, exhibitions, what have you. You could probably, what, double that?
You know, a lot of players are doing almost 4-to-1 endorsements.
4-to-1?
Yeah, over earning. Maleva at 59% first serves. Boy, and just folding that. When you let that ball drop that low, it means you're tired. You can't recruit those muscles, especially the triceps.
3 double faults for Maleva.
But it isn't just that she's double faulting, it's how she's double faulting.
She running out of gas?
Well, those last 2, she could have strung up her shoulder and hit the ball. She's really let that thing drop a long way. And there's no snap on the forearm at all. But let's see if she just saved herself a little for the next one. Better. Oh, Sukova's. I didn't watch to see what she was drinking on the sideline, Sukova, but she's come back with some juice.
Got those shoestrings nice and tight, too.
There's the bolo, but no effort. And see how slowly she came through on the ball.
And how low she hit it into the net.
Woo. Okay, here you go. Bolo whip, pulled her left shoulder across into the net. Little upset. You don't want to be... There you go. Good serve. Now, here's an interesting thing. Look what a poor game Maleva has played, but the score is deuce. And that's where Sukova can't do it. When you've got an opponent who's not hitting the ball well in the game and it's deuce, and it means you can't put it together either.
How hot is it? Just look at the top of Helena Sukova. That shirt's wringing wet.
There's the cross court down the line. Tough shot. You got to play a little bit safer than that. You can't play close to the line. Can't receive a cross court and go straight with it. With a slow moving shot, you got to hit it with a real strong punch.
If Maleva is successful on this point, second set would be tied at 3. The drop. What's the score now on drop shots?
Yeah.
You're keeping.
Forget it. 2 for 3,000. It's really bad. You know, and look at the point. It's such a big point. Why not play it back deep and get position instead of trying a trick shot?
3-3 in the second set.
I mean, Maleva's a sharp young woman. I mean, she's not going to go for that. Sukova letting it get away from her.
28 unforced errors, like turnovers in basketball.
Boy, 28 times in basketball. You're in deep trouble.
I'll tell you where you are. You're out of a tournament. On your way home. Manuela would love to have that back. She kind of punched at it rather than to hit through.
Well, you know, she had her position, but she overplayed the ball. That's one, and when she really didn't have to. I think Sukova's speed kind of bothered a little bit, and she, you know, could be up 30 love right now. Love 30, but instead it's an even game.
An ace by Helena Sukova, her second.
The biggest shot that's missing, I think, in women's tennis, big slice serve. It's the only way they're ever going to get to Steffi Graf, in my opinion. It's one of the ways.
Who has the biggest slice serve in women's professional tennis?
I'm not sure. Martina hits the left-handed side really well. She can really move you. A lot of times you have to hit outside the doubles line. So that's about, you know, she's got a big span out there. But I'm not sure if there's anybody who can beat that one.
Helena Sukova holds serve and takes a 4-3 lead in the second set. Sukova trying to hold on and win this second set to send it into the third and deciding stanza of this battle here at the Hyatt Grand Champions Resort in Indian Wells, California.
That's wonderful.
And here is our location, and right over our shoulders, Highway 111, just a stone's throw away. Our producer is Jerry Romano, and Jerry's a fine player in his own right in this game. At least that's what he tells me. 6-2, Maleeva, 4-3, Sukova. We battle here in the 8th game of the second set. Wide.
You know, Michael, I've said it so many times. When you don't get a serve and volley game, and which usually ends with about 2.6 hits per point, now sometimes it's 4, 5, 6, 7. But you get a great chance if you'll just pick out one player as you're watching and follow that one player. You'll learn so much about footwork, balance, when they're off balance, what shots they choose to hit. Just pick one player and watch, and then rotate about every 3 games. You can really get into any kind of a match.
Another unforced error.
Left shoulder pulling across, racket straight across, and a ball into the net.
The 29th unforced by Helena Sukova. And a lead for Manuela Maleeva, 30-15.
Maleeva's so cool, just, hey, what's happening, man? Doesn't look like she doesn't do anything, but she works her guts out. Tough.
I'll say it is.
Sorry to keep saying tough, but that's just what it is. Well, when she hits that thing, she steps in. You just don't move.
Is that the way to watch it? Well, it's a way to get a tan.
Well, I just think that her favorite player's not here today.
He's not on the other court either.
That just reminded me of the time Mike Tyson and his wife were in the stands at one of our telecasts, and she had a portable phone in the stands, and she was just busy talking to people in the stands. I found that really intriguing.
Probably talking to her attorney.
Well, she's just had a lot to do that day, that's for sure. And I said, geez, how classy. Get a lot done, watch a match.
was a tough shot for Maleeva because of the top spin, and she knew it was going to be a high bounce. Result, into the net.
And that's what you do against little people. Try to hit the ball high bouncers to them because they have to work really hard to get any power. On a hot day, you don't like to have to work that hard.
That's out.
See, when Sukova gets up there and's got the shot, there's just no reason in the world why she's going to blow a shot like that. She got position, she got the ball, she got it right where she wants it. Doesn't have to bend her knees or anything, and overplays the ball. So she's just having one of those days. The question is not whether you're going to have these days. The question is, what do you do to get out of it? Nice. Boy.
The fact that Sukova's 6'2" aided and abetted her on that overhead.
And but it's very smooth, you know, Michael. When she hits the overhead, there's nothing tentative. Look, she's moving way over to the left side. She's going to hit the ball cross court back to the backhand side, but makes it look very easy. That's not such an easy shot. Oh, there's a little weakness. Oh,
can you believe?
I mean, did you see how hard Maleeva was working on that high bouncing ball? She couldn't put it together. Sukova saw it. She sneaked in behind the shot. Perfect play and knocks the ball out. Well, that's going to give you nightmares.
It may give Maleeva this game, and that would allow her to pull even in the second set at 4-all.
There goes that high bouncer. She's on to something.
It's just wide.
There's that cross court down the line.
Now Maleeva will appeal to Jane Goodman, the umpire. But it looked wide from our vantage point. What was that? What was that?
Excuse me, I thought you said out.
Deuce.
Now, watch Sukova. I suggest she's going to get a very soft second serve because that last one looked very tired. Sukova did nothing.
And then hits it out.
Oh, goodness gracious. I feel so sorry for her. She can't put it together.
33 unforced errors by Sukova.
And wasn't pressed, nothing. Didn't have to overhit. Maleeva says, come on, the lady is making a lot of errors. Just don't make your own, as Chris Evert said. Best thing my dad ever told me is let your opponent make the mistakes. I always love this camera angle.
Sukova thought it was going to go cross court. Maleeva down the line, and Maleeva pulls the game and wins and goes even in the second set.
And Michael, she does it so nicely. See, she doesn't overplay. When she gets the passing shot, she waits. She goes for balance. Remember Charlie Passerell, who's running this event?
Well, he's one of the...
That's part of the ownership of this event. Charlie took from Welby Van Horn down in Puerto Rico, and Welby was such a great advocate of good balance. Charlie Passerell at one time, the #1 player in the United States.
What school did he attend?
UCLA.
And he played for?
Glenn Bassett. No, he didn't. He played for
J.D. Morgan.
J.D. Morgan.
Right.
That's right.
Bertino. ...34 unforced errors. Goodness gracious.
We are getting into basketball scores. I don't think that's a Sokova trait at all. I'll bet she hasn't hit that many errors in a match in a long time.
That ball.
That ball was way back of her head on the toss. Third double fault by Helena Sokova.
Boy, I tell you, I would work on a big slice serve, especially from that right side, if I were Sokova. She's a dynamite athlete. Out. No. Lay out close.
The crowd wonders about it, and so does Manuela Maleva.
No, this is not
The chair umpire, Jane Goodman.
What'd you think, Michael?
I thought it was out.
I thought it was out. Very close, but I thought it was out. Well, I tell you, when we ran those research projects, we'd see balls that were hit like this, and we were just positive it landed in a certain place. But boy, that lines person was right so many more times. Ooh, very close, but you still can't see it from there. You're compressing. We would stop action, the high-speed film, you know, where we're focused right on the ball. Son of a gun, the lines person was right nearly every time, and we were wrong. So I take my hat off to him.
40-30.
She's mad now. Don't lose points because of a call. They even out. That's the sucker play of the century. The ball really doesn't know you were robbed on the last call. Turn right around and let Sokova back in the match. On a shot where she could be wrong.
That's out. Somebody yelled out.
Yeah, they did. It's out.
I thought it was out too, but
the lines person called out.
But it wasn't an emphatic out. Just
you got
out.
it. Yeah.
Out.
Yeah. You like to really hear it. You like to really hear it.
My old friend Al Barlick, who was just inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, National League umpire, you could always knew whether it was a ball or a strike when he was back at the plate.
Isn't he kind of a consultant right now for officials? You hit down the middle, and that girl is so balanced. Boy, Maleva just takes her time and threads a needle. Doesn't matter whether it's a backhand down the line or a forehand down the line.
Boy, what a big break point this is for the 22-year-old Manuela Maleva.
Boy, you got to make her hit that passing shot on the run.
She gets this point, she goes up 5-4 to be serving for the match.
You'll hear from Maleva in just a second.
Long point. Back to deuce.
Give Sokova credit. She hung in there and she moved Maleva all along the baseline. Played a beautiful point.
Maleva.
Smart play. You remember when the match first started, the short ball by Sukova was very effective, and then Maleeva started looking for the short ball. Every time she hit it at the feet of Sukova at the net, Sukova's coming back with a shallow ball. Maleeva got a great start on that ball, waited her opportunity, and then hit it.
That's in. It's on the line.
It was called out.
It was called out? I didn't hear the call, did you? Did you hear the call, Vic?
No, I did not hear the call, Michael, at all. Boy, was that a tough shot.
Oh, that was in.
Close. Oh, goodness gracious. Sukova say, hey, give me a break, man. I was right there. That ball was out a yard.
The way I looked at it, it was in.
Tough in the camera positions that way. Pulled again. Oh, goodness gracious. You don't do that. Take away all the power from going through the ball.
This is the third advantage Maleeva has had in this game. She wins this point. Maleeva goes up 5-4 and could be serving for the match.
There's a big first serve right there, although Maleeva doesn't do an awful lot on a service return, except if you come in. She's very good at the feet.
Ooh.
And out.
Game to Maleeva. Manuela Maleeva from Sofia, Bulgaria, up 5-4 in the second set and can win it all on her serve and get into the championship tomorrow against Jenny Byrne. Summer-like day here on the 11th of March, 1989. We may be favored with not one but two surprises. A surprise in the first semifinal, Jenny Byrne over Hanna Mandlikova, 7-6, 6-3, and now Manuela Maleeva won the first set 6-2, is up 5-4, and will be serving for the match. Now, when play started about 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, who would have thought? Most people would have said, hey, it's going to be Mandlikova and Sukova in the finals. And certainly form would dictate that. But oftentimes in tennis, form does not hold up. This has been one surprise after another in this tournament. Championship all the way. Notice she'll get over there, get sets up, wham! Great cross court. 15 love. Maleeva 3 points away. Second service. Hit the lead cord, but bounced wide. Ooh, that's close, right on the line. Away for Maleeva. Love, the number 9 ranked player in the world, trying to knock off the number 5 player in the world. 1 point away from victory for Manuela Maleva. Love. Maleva wins. Manuela Maleva goes into the championship against Jenny Byrne of Australia. Maleva 6-2, 6-4 over Helena Suková. We'll be back here at Indian Wells, California, after this. That we should have 2 more surprises here today, including the match just concluded, Manuela Maleva 6-2, 6-4 over Helena Suková. So the 22-year-olds, Maleva and Jenny Byrne of Australia, will battle it out in the championship tomorrow. Let's go down as Manuela visits with Vic Braden.
Manuela, I noticed very early that you were kind of walking stiff-legged. Did your ankle bother you at all?
Yes, especially in the beginning of the match, and it was painful. Towards the end it got loosened up, but it was still quite painful. This morning I was hardly walking. I had to sleep in an air cast, and it was difficult.
Okay, what about Jenny Byrne? Have you played her before?
I have never played her. It's going to be difficult because she's a tough opponent. It's very hot here, and it's going to be a difficult match.
Isn't everybody tough in women's tennis these days?
Yeah.
Does it get this hot in Sofia?
It gets very hot, but not so dry.
Not so dry. Well, you were certainly hot out there today. Congratulations. It was a wonderful victory for you, Manuela. And now back to Mike.
And this is Mike Walden along with Vic Braden reminding you that we'll be back here tomorrow for the finals of the $250,000 Virginia Slims of Indian Wells. Jenny Byrne versus Manuela Maleva. Make your plans to join us. That's the Virginia Slims of the Indian Wells Championship, 2 o'clock Pacific, right here on the Prime Ticket Television Network.